Hey dudes, we are inside the castle walls of my Minecraft kingdom on Infinite Heights, and today we're going cactus farm, and it's coming up right now. And here we are. You can see the little cactuses in the bottom right as we zoom around Castle Valor, a top-down view. So if you get oriented to where we're building within the kingdom. Little tiny corner tucked in there, but important nonetheless. Let's work on it. So I initially started building excuse me, I initially started building the cactus farm before there was ever such a thing as dark oak logs. And what I wanted to do was actually change up the color palette a little bit so that I could incorporate the green. Now when I initially envisioned the cactus farm building, it was just another building that was going to be tucked into the village, but I didn't have a real plan for it, if I'm honest, in terms of what the specifics of the building would be. And so what I thought more about as I was kind of letting the idea roll around in my brain, which is what I generally do. I have, I complete a let's build, and between the completion of one let's build and the next, over the next week or so, I just kind of have the idea, just kind of let it roll around in my brain, and I don't try and enforce a plan in any way in particular. I just kind of let it sit there, and I don't necessarily trust in some strange mystical way that the idea will come to me, or anything strange like that, but I do believe very strongly that if I sit and try and think about it and make like a really strong, active pursuit of that idea, that I don't believe that the idea will ever come to me. I think just personally, that I'm sometimes guilty of trying too hard. So as the idea was as I was letting the idea kind of just, roll around in my brain, as I said before, what I started to realize was I think it might be cool if I could somehow, if you look closely at an actual cactus block, you can see it already. It's like a greenish color, and it's got little knobs for the cactus spikes kind of sticking off the sides. And I was like, there's a very general similarity to, between that and how I like to build my, this medieval style of building with the beams kind of poking out the side. So why don't I give it just one, we'll build up the farm, and then I'll make it maybe a little bit taller and narrower, and we'll kind of reference the style of the cactus. So as I was saying before, when I initially conceived of this, there wasn't actually dark oak blocks, and so at the very beginning you saw me taking down some spruce logs and replacing them with dark oak logs. And then from then I went, on to just really kind of think concretely about what blocks actually look best with dark oak. And I think a nice contrasting color is the lime stained clay. And I also, I don't know if that's necessarily contrasting, but I do think it goes well. But I think that regular oak goes really well with dark oak. They have that same kind of color, same kind of brownish hue to them. So yeah, so I had to take it all down, and I started it again, and we're not doing anything too out of the ordinary other than making this one 3 stories tall. And this back porch area that I just started working on here, I'm actually going to do a slanted window kind of design, slanted roof kind of design, similar to a warehouse style, where we'll have the roofs facing the windows, or lighting, I guess skylights we could call them, facing the front of the building, and then just a single flat kind of slope down away from them. Kind of maybe, if I guess you could also think about it as just really just half of your average roof, your average sloped roof for the back there. Time to eat. And throwing some more blocks in. I mean, I definitely wanted the green to match the cactus, and then I picked the darkest color wood to kind of mimic how the actual cactus blocks have that contrast of black against the green. And we're throwing in this little roof, which we did before, which you saw me do before on... You can actually see it right behind there in the background. You saw me do it before on the priory and also on the mushroom farms. Simple little roof, a little detail on the top. And we're throwing in some... I'm going to be throwing in some fences where... There we go. Where there are windows in parts that are not considered inside the house, and then we see some windows going into the actual house. And I actually switched texture packs to Faithful and kind of took out a little bit of some of the detail in the clear glass panes, which I'm not sure I'm going to stick with that texture pack or combination or anything, but you know, I just wanted to switch it up, see if I could get anything else that was useful while maintaining, you know, the spirit of the intended colors and textures in the game. So here we are in the front of the house, and we need a way to get into the house, obviously. Now I end up coming back later to change this and switch this up a little bit. But we do need a way to get into the house, obviously. So what I'm thinking now is I'm just going to run it off to the right. Just kind of run it to the right, and it might or might not interfere with the post that's part of the priory's little porch overhang type thing. And it's all crooked and strange, and I kind of mess with this for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I guess this works. Let's kind of make it look cool. We'll throw some... Gotta go craft some more stairs. We'll throw some stairs in. And, you know, pretty this up a little bit. Let's throw some smooth stone slabs in the center. It's getting better. It's getting better. But it's still awkward if you're on the path to the left that leads through the side gate to the inner fortress area. Like, it's weird. You have to walk like up the path, and then hang a left and loop through the porch, loop through the area underneath the porch, and then, you know, when you're up on there, you kind of want to just jump off the side. So it's strange. And obviously it begins to rain. So I just threw a single beam down the middle, which I thought worked well. The pitch of the roof of this porch here, I was able to keep it pretty shallow. I didn't have to use stairs or anything. So I eventually come back and tidy up the porch a little bit. But so now we're just going around and tidying up the foundations. And then we throw... I always like to throw a little outline of gravel around, I guess what would be called the drip line of the roof, but just to create a formal line where the house meets the actual ground. So here we are in the basement. I have the floor dug down. I actually dug it down just one extra block. It was pretty easy. Went pretty quickly. And I'm just kind of throwing in a general kind of pattern, and we're gonna just kind of block in and hide the redstone mechanism a little bit here if we can. So we throw some cobble. Now this is a huge, just maybe per, you know, per house, this may be the largest basement. There is so much room in there. I don't know. I also think there's something kind of cool about being being in a medieval basement and there being water dripping from the ceiling. It's kind of, I don't know. Something about that is kind of cool to me. I'm not doing anything too fancy. I'm just, I'm just basically making an outline and filling it in and making another outline and filling it in and making another outline and filling it in just to add some interest to the floor so it's just not a plain boring floor. And I think, well there I actually just kind of redid the back wall, which, I decided to turn it into cobble and cracked stone brick eventually later and stuff. But what I was trying to do basically was just draw outlines that kind of mimicked the direction of the foundation a little bit, or of what may or may not have been a part of the building in the past. So some of the outlines may actually reference a part of the building's past if we're actually, thinking about being inside the building and living in the area over a period of time, or the building existing for many, many years. So I think that adds a little bit of realism to it. And I threw those slabs in there just to, that's where the water collection stream is for the cactuses in the left corner here. And I threw that in and I was like, oh, that reminds me of some of the beam work that I've done before in a couple builds. What if I threw that in the basement, and then the basement kind of started to take on a catacomb type quality, which was kind of interesting, and it prevented this whole thing from being just some big cobble room, just some big, cobble cube. So I came back into the walls, and wherever in the walls the beams met, I actually just replaced with some stone brick and some, I gave the appearance that there were pillars that were built into the wall to support the beams. I think it worked pretty well. I threw one in the middle there. And now from the outside, I'm just poking some holes here, throwing some cobble walls in there to just allow some light. And here it is. It's the finished product. The finished cactus farm. You can see we turned the stairs eventually. I think it worked out pretty well. What do you guys think? Let's take a look. Alright, I thought it would be, there it is. I think it looks pretty sweet. I thought it would be prudent to go ahead and approach it from this direction. We're coming under this cool overhang, if you remember from last episode that we built for the Iron Golem Priory. And then you can see in here, it was a little strange to kind of walk past this post and then get on here and then not be able to get down this way. So I just kind of, you can see I just hung a which way, right? Yeah, hung a right. I had to figure out. Sorry about that. So anyway, I had to figure out. Yeah, so to turn right, and it's actually, let's see. This won't do at all. We are building on the fly. Let's see. Let's throw it in like that. No. Come on. Act like you got some goddamn sense at this. There we go. Not like that. Not like that. In that way. In that fashion. There. Now it matches the rest of the indentations around all steps and stuff like that. Okay, anyway. Back to what we're talking about. So let's just head in through the front door. Is anybody home? Yes, it's us. So I didn't show this part in here, though I did want to bring up this kind of thing. I don't think I don't think I invented this. I haven't seen this done before, and when I figured it out, I was so freaking proud of myself. So if someone did come up with this before me, don't shoot me down in the comments. I'm riding high on this. No. So I used an upside down stair combined with a half slab here, top slab, upside down stair to make it look like we had some oak plank beams running through the floors. What do you think? I didn't show this. I just threw some stairs in to get up. A little fence to help us. To help prevent us from falling down, even though you can't really hit your head here anyway because it's too low. But anyway, and then the top floor just flat. Oops. Hey, and we can see the outside. Not a prob. There we go. But yeah, so you know, I kind of think maybe it would look cool if there was a beam running across here. But I also like this uncluttered ceiling for some reason in here. I think it looks good, so but yeah, and then again these beams. I'm not sure if I used it 100% to the greatest effect here, like maybe if it was facing this way, but I played around with it a little bit, and I do prefer this. It looked a little bit incomplete over on the side, so it looked, because this would be over here. Now the center of the room is on a slab, and if it was flipped around, it would be like 1.5 slabs, and then half slab here, a full one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll just show you. That's easier. That is just plain easier. So, like that. So there's this weird half of a half slab appearing here, a quarter of a slab, a full half slab, and then another half slab, and then just one. So there's just it looked weird when the whole thing was like this. So I switched it. You know what you're gonna do. So let's go ahead and take it. Now we can't, there's no windows here because this is where the roof line of the patio falls. So let's go take a look at the patio. What do you think? So I did this, you saw me building it, and I talked about it before, but you saw the little kind of warehouse style windows up here because, you know, to be honest, that's kind of a strange roof to have to do, because, like, why am I not flying right now? There we go. So, you know, like, over here, how can I explain this? Basically, the center line of what would be this roof would be right here. So it would be a peaked roof that would, like, jam awkwardly into the middle of the house, and up until, like, from here to here, there would be a roof line that jammed awkwardly into the middle of the house, and then over here to try and bring it down would be fine. Like on this half, it would cut off that window, but on this half, it would be fine. But over here, it would look real awkward. So I just decided not to fuss with it too much. And then again, on the exposed parts, instead of windows, we just have the fence posts. And this looks inside the house. And then up here also. And you saw this before, and I changed all these over. I didn't change these yet because I didn't want to mess with... I didn't want to, you know, I don't have any cactuses in here, and if I lost any down in here, I mean... Anyway, I do have to change these over still, but I'm not sure I'm really digging how these look. I wish they were connected in some way, so... I'm still trying to figure something out with this. Who knows? Who knows? But for right now, that's what we're doing, so... let's take a look at the basement. I think the basement turned out pretty cool. So here's this little cold storage area type thing under the front steps, right? We have our basement windows to let in a little bit of light so we can see outside just a little bit so it doesn't feel too much like a cave in here. And then I did the same thing that I did on the upper floors of the house with these beams, and I just, now that I did that, I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but I'm freaking loving that. I didn't carry them through the whole thing because I didn't think it made sense through the whole thing, because over on this part of the house, I thought that it was more important to kind of highlight kind of just the structure in here. Now, this room is big, and what started to occur to me as I was building this was, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a side entrance to the basement of this house over here? And then, like, you could get into, like, hidden areas behind the walls of the castle. Like some kind of resistance movement type secret place that would like take you into the basement of this tower through this place. When I visited France, I was fortunate enough to actually go to where Leonardo da Vinci lived and spent his last couple days, years, decades of his life. I don't remember exactly how long he was there for, but there was a secret tunnel from his house to the fortress nearby where the local regent lived, and it was the coolest freaking thing I ever saw. It was like this creepy dark underground tunnel and stuff. So that it kind of made me think maybe the Cactus Farm, though unlikely and strange, may be one of those secret type places. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure, but what what do you guys think? What do you guys think? So over here we have plans for the flower farm. It's going to be basically a square type house in the middle here, kind of hut-like almost, and then this little extension on the back is going to be I'm thinking two-story greenhouse, mostly glass. We'll see how we can work that out, but I think that's what I'm going to be working on next. And soon, you guys, soon we are going to start tackling the houses on the mountain. We also have to finish this pathway. Lots done, lots accomplished so far in my little kingdom here, but still lots to do. So that is it for this episode, and I hope you dudes enjoyed watching. Check out my YouTube channel for other Let's Plays and Minecraft Let's Builds. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I do truly appreciate every single view, every single comment, every single like and sub. It's TheeRealDuke. I'm out.